決して砕かれぬ。
Yo, what's good? Lad here. Another traveler was just announced. Greig. She is a tank warrior of the Dominance faction and hailing from Side Celestia. She's a tank warrior, and honestly, that's all she does. If you have Ulbrich, well, she's just the female version of him. Let's go ahead and check her out. Her VA is Haruka Tomatsu. She voices the all-cool Asuna from Sword Art Online and 02. These are the only two that I know. Let me know if you recognize any other faces. Anyways, let's go ahead and check out her notable damaging skills. Her first one is an SP cost of 62. It's a one-hit single target sword damage attack, potency at 210. Now, indomitable points are points that she racks up anytime the enemy hits her. So if the enemies have hit her more than 3 times, she gains a 10% more potency to this ability. And if enemies have hit her more than 6 times, this attack also lowers physical defense by 50% for 2 turns. And if she's been smacked more than 9 times, she lowers the physical attack of the enemy by 50% for 2 turns. Her second ability is an SP cost of 50. It's again a one-hit single target sword damage attack, potency at 260. And 3 or more indomitable points, this attack gets 20% more potency. At 6 or more points, this attack gets a 30% more potency. And at 9 or more indomitable points, this attack gets a 50% more potency. For her EX skill, it can only be used after 3 or more indomitable points, and only 2 usages. It's a 2-hit AoE sword damage attack, potency of 80. If she has more than 6 points, this becomes a 4-hit, and if she has more than 9 points, this becomes a 6-hitter. Her ultimate, a level 1 to level 10, is a one-hit single target sword damage attack, potency of 375 at level 1 and 450 at level 10. At 3 or more indomitable points, this ultimate gets a 10% more potency. At 6 or more points, this ultimate gains a 20% potency, and at 9 or more, this ultimate gets a 40% more potency increase. For her notable support skills, the first one is SP cost of 26. She reduces all damage dealt to her by 50% for 1 hit. Her second support skill is a 41 SP cost. She goes first, and she gives herself physical and elemental defense for 15% for 2 turns. Her third support skill is a 60 SP cost. She gives herself auto revive 20% to 50% depending on the boost level of HP and SP, and this ability can be used 3 times per battle. Now for her passive, she gives herself a 15% up to elemental and physical defense up, and whenever she's hit once or multiple times, she adds 1 indomitable point to her counters. Her second buff deals with the amount of indomitable points that she's stacked up. At 3 or more, she gives herself a physical attack and sword damage up of 15%. At 6 or more, she gives herself a physical and elemental defense of 15%, and at 9 or more, she gives herself a physical resistance up or 15%. And for her 6-star passive, at the start of battle, she provokes all enemies for 2 turns, and then she has a 10% in fire resistance and 20 in ice. Taking a look at her stats, nothing really stands out except for her physical defense, which is on the higher end, 383 at level 100 and 448 at level 120. The rest of her stats aren't all that impressive, as she again is a tank warrior. So the main question, should you pull? This is a hard no. You're better off using the free warriors to be gone, as both Orsted and Serenoa are much more useful and provide more for your team. She's gonna be joining the general pool, and honestly, there's no need for another warrior tank like Ulbrich, so hard pass. Keep saving your rubies. Her A4 accessories have 40 to physical and elemental defense, and a 600 to HP, and it raises your max HP by 15% and gives you a damage cap of 50,000. This could be a decent accessory for someone like EX Millard, as it will increase his max HP, but you shouldn't chase after it as it's not a must-have accessory. Now longevity. The day you pull her is probably the day that you'll bench her. It's sad as her character design looks kinda cool. Anyways, enough said, let's go ahead and finish up. Character design 4 out of 5. She looks really cool. She reminds me of Eris from Mushoku Tensei. Red hair and a swordswoman. Her VA 5 out of 5. I'm a big fan of Asuna from Sword Art Online, and 02 was pretty cool as well too. Abilities 1 out of 5. This is a travel that's far power crept, even when compared to travelers released in Side or Sarah. Again, you're better off using the free warriors, given out or Ulbrich if you really need a warrior tank. Longevity, again, 1 out of 5. Benched as soon as you get her. Global buff, 0 out of 5, she didn't get any. Time limited, no, 5 out of 5. She's joining the general pool. Overall impression, 1.25 out of 5. I gave her a 0.25 because her VA and her character design. For some reason, characters with red hair are usually pretty cool. But with that said, this is an example of a sad skill set for a potentially cool character. But again, for most general cool units, this is what you can expect. Travelers with irrelevant skills. Focus your rubies on time-limited travelers, as these are by far the best characters in the game. Alright, well that's it for Greig. Let me know if you'll be pulling for her. I'll keep on holding on to my rubies for now. But for now, I'll catch you next time. Take care of yourself. Lad out.